Right, hello there. Welcome back to Return of the Nerd and action and no action. So what I want to talk about today is what I want to talk about today is the lack of Star Wars content. I'm a little bit worried for 2024. Why? Well, okay, my first the indication that something is not going according to plan. We are not on schedule, Lord Vader. Was the Hasbro live stream, which I've mentioned 3 times now. I'm not going to go into detail about that again. We know it was diabolical, and there was very little in the way of new stuff. There was just like completely like a lack of information. But why is that? I mean, I've been thinking like, okay, so Hasbro are answerable to who? Who's next in the chain? Lucasfilm, Disney, the writer's strike. So I think I could be completely wrong. I'm just putting these ideas out there and for you to think about. The writer's strike went on much longer than was anticipated, and that's going to have a knock-on effect, just like the pandemic did. You guys remember that Disney Plus they had like these huge gaps in their schedules, and things, the dates kept on changing all the time, and that was mainly due to the lockdown. So now we have another problem, which is the writer's strike, which has gone on for a very, very long time, and that has pushed back all of the projects of, you know, if you're shooting something, you're in the middle of shooting something, now that has to stop. Everything's been delayed. So it's kind of, if you're working for Disney and Lucasfilm right now and you're trying to figure out what the schedule is, it is a nightmare. All right. And then of course that has a knock-on effect for the merchandising, right? So not just Hasbro, but all companies who make a living off of selling the merchandise are like, what can we sell? What can we show? And maybe right now Lucasfilm are like, oh, the answer is we don't know, because we don't even know what we can put on our platform, Disney Plus, this year. And at the moment it looks like the only thing we are gonna see is the Bad Batch. I know that sounds really fucked up, right? But the Acolyte it is supposed to come out this year, but again, I highly doubt that it will. I don't think it will be finished on time. I think it will be probably slated early 2025. Andor made an announcement as well and said, we haven't finished filming yet. The writer's strike, we got to finish filming. So now we were gonna get season 2, which was I think there's only 2 seasons to Andor anyway. This was the last one. And so they've said, now push that back. Now that's not going to come out till 2025. So now straight away we've got 2 live action shows that are supposed to be on Disney Plus this year, which probably won't be. The Skeleton Crew is a live action show, and I've looked on all the websites, and it's very unclear. Not sure when this is going to be released. So at the moment, the only positive and the only thing we can say with 100% certainty is that we are going to watch the Bad Batch in February, March and April, okay? And that's it. And then the rest of the year, I'm like, what are we gonna have? Because if you cannot provide any live action show, people are just gonna unsubscribe from the streaming platform. All right. Now it kind of reminds me of the Book of Boba Fett, because I honestly feel that, and this is just my opinion, the Book of Boba Fett was just a filler show, because it was the middle of the pandemic. All the schedule, everything got screwed up, right? Social distancing, everything came to a standstill, and I feel that like that whole like show was just, we need something to go up on our platform. We need something. We're desperate. And so it was put together very quickly, and you can tell it was put together too fast, and it wasn't that good. You know, the whole concept of the Book of Boba Fett and the story behind it, people were like crazily like rooting for this. They were like, yeah, we want to see it at last. It's a Boba Fett story. We want this. We've wanted this forever and ever and ever. And you know, the scene after the credits from The Mandalorian season 2, where Boba takes out Bib Fortuna, and you're like, oh shit, that's freaking badass, man. I cannot wait for this to come out. And then it was completely rushed. And I think one of the reasons is because of the schedule. There was just nothing to go up on the platform, and so Disney were like, hurry up, we need something. And so you've got the pandemic, and now we've got the writer's strike. But again, shouldn't big corporations like Disney take these things into account? Like, what if this happens and what if that happens? Like, a writer's strike is not something that will just come out of the blue and hit you. There have been many, many writer's strikes before. This is not like this is the first time it's ever happened. I mean, the pandemic that came out of left field and just hit everyone around the face, and we were like, what is going on? The world is falling apart. But the writer's strike, so that's not something new. So do you have a backup plan? What is your backup plan? You know, like, you should have anticipated this problem, and you should have some kind of fail-safe strategy. Like, what happens just in case this happens? Like, because you have a schedule 2024, and now all I can see is the Bad Batch, and I can't see anything else apart from maybe Visions. But just 2 like very short animation shows for all those millions of Star Wars fans out there, and no live action will be unacceptable. So this year there has to be at least one good live action show. So what's it gonna be? I don't know. So what do you guys think? Put in the comment section what is going on. And then I just wanted to quickly talk about the Bad Batch, because we're already in, this is the final season. We know this is the end. And Hasbro, do you realize that as far as the vintage collection is concerned, you have released 1 figure? I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. 3.75 Hunter from season 1. Look, pause there, silence. Everyone just process that. So 3 seasons, we've had 3 seasons of the Bad Batch, right? And we've had 1 figure, the Hunter. I could be wrong. Are there any other Bad Batch figures that have come out in the vintage collection? If I'm wrong, then I don't think that there have been many. But the only one I can remember is Hunter. Okay, so for the Black Series, we've had a lot. I think it's been very good. But as far as and even retro collection, I mean, why you could consider. The Bad Batch has been an extremely successful show, and it cuts across all generations, even grumpy old Star Wars original trailer folk like myself. I'm watching it, I love it. I can't wait for the finale. If you had like a retro 6-pack or something of the Bad Batch, I'd collect that, and a lot of people would do. So again, what is going on with Hasbro and the Bad Batch and the lack of figures that have come out? All right, and again, if the communication between Disney and Lucasfilm and all the other companies like Hasbro that have bought the Star Wars license to make merchandise, if it's all going to be all muddy and unclear, and we're not sure if this is going to be finished on time, and we're not sure if we can allow you to go ahead and show the image of this figure that you've probably already, your factory's already made like a billion of them, but there's a knock-on effect, and it's not good. So yeah, I want some comments. What do you guys think? All right, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and I'll be back very, very soon, because I'm getting a little bit worried about this. Okay, this is not the way.